and stating on the record that some women who are taken aboard UFOs find themselves pregnant. Now, that's really bizarre. They run the story, that's the headline, but they don't go into it. It's all part of the greeting program, and it hails back to the Genesis 3:15 narrative.
So what are they trying to do? They want to impregnate these women. They want to mingle their seed. These women, they want these women to birth a little demonic babies.
No, that's not what happens. The woman is taken usually at 10 to 12 weeks towards the end of the first trimester.
Right.
She's re-abducted, taken, and the baby is taken. In our fourth film on UFOs, we sit down with Karen, who was taken at a very early age, and she was impregnated by them 3 times, and she lost the baby. The baby was taken from her 3 times. And I've heard this over and over and over and over and over again, literally now for decades. That's the way it is. And
what do they do with these babies, LA, when they take them?
They're hybrids. They're part. The DNA, the seed has been mingled. And I remember asking Chuck Missler this very question, years and years ago. And I said, Chuck, what do you think the end game is here? Without hesitation, Chuck Missler said, Satan is outnumbered 2-1. He's building an army. And now we know that these so-called hybrid entities are integrating into the population. How do we know that? Because people see them, people interact with them, and it's going to become more and more, not less and less, but more and more as time goes.
So let's say the hybrid's a baby, is part human, part of the demon seed that was put in Rosemary's Baby, and it grows up and it's 20, 25 years old. You're actually, do they have a birth certificate? Do they have a way to arrange to make these people have a real life? I mean, you following me? How are they making that? Social Security number, all that?
According to Dr. David Jacobs, and he's been in this field and looking at it, his book called Walking Amongst Us talks about the integration of hybrids. So we've heard all sorts of stories from people, but Dr. Jacobs says this, and I realize this will sound bizarre, but when people are taken aboard the ship, here's the hybrid. So they have a handler who's human. Oftentimes that handler might be the woman or someone who's close to that hybrid entity. They pair them up. They drop them out in the Walmart at 2 a.m. And this is the way they're integrated, because they don't grow up here, they grow up in the ships or the second heaven. So now they're here and they don't know what a pen is. They don't know what a pen is.
Okay.
They're integrated. I'll tell you another story. This woman was in a neighborhood, nice middle-class neighborhood. And she had neighbors that moved in, very strange neighbors. They weren't really seen, and they were, instead of curtains in the windows, they were like tablecloths or towels and things like that. It's kind of strange. So, she being sort of a Mrs. Kravitz type individual, decides to go over with like a cake or some food or whatever, and she knocks on the door, and the woman answers. And they begin a conversation, and she's kind of looking in the house, and the house is like, it's not set up. It's weird looking. It's strange. And as they're talking, the woman's face shapeshifts into an alien, and she slams the door on the woman who brought the food. The next morning, they're gone. Here's another one. So this guy is in like a construction type deal. They're going to lunch. They're in his pickup truck. His friend is sitting next to him in the pickup truck. So they go to a fast food place. They go to window 1. We all know the drill. They place their order. They pay for the thing. Now they're at the pickup. So he looks over. There's a woman there. Nothing extraordinary about her. And he reaches over and gets the first, the bag, and gives it to his friend. So he looks back and he gets ready to pick the bag up from the window. He gets the bag and he's looking at the window at the woman, and he's saying, "Thank you." Her face shifts. Half the face becomes iridescent and alien. The other face is human. They look at each other. She realizes she's been outed. He freaks out. She freaks out. She covers her face, backs away from the window, and runs out of the back part of the fast food place. One of the coworkers does this, like a quick head turn as she runs by. David, they're integrating. They're here, and they are appearing because we know that there's countless other people that have had the same experience, and they keep it within themselves. They don't say anything. They're afraid to talk about it. It's time to let the cat out of the bag and let people know that this is real. It ties into the biblical prophetic narrative that we find in our Bible. It's all about the seed. It ties into Daniel chapter 2. So here's another story for you. This woman is shopping at Walmart. It's always at Walmart, right? Shopping at Walmart. And I call this UFO brain fog because when we're around